Now, aside from car payments or purchasing a car, there's other costs that are associated with owning a car. So aside from the purchase price, there are many other costs associated with owning a car, including fuel, maintenance, repairs, tires, tolls, insurance, so on and so forth. There are a lot of things that you have to take into consideration. Now, of these, typically fuel accounts for a large portion of the cost. The fuel cost per year can be calculated by multiplying the number of gallons used time the average price per gallon. Since the number of gallons used is equal to the annual miles driven divided by miles per gallon the car gets, we can use the following formula to calculate the annual cost of fuel. So annual fuel expense is going to be the annual miles driven divided by the miles per gallon times the price per gallon. With cars, it's generally recommended that the value of all vehicles a person owns should not exceed half of his or her annual income. So in terms of loans and everything like that, or even like that, just in terms of car values, problem with cars, they're always a depreciating asset. Basically, after 10 years, they're worthless. So you don't want to have more than half your income tied up in values of cars. So this formula here that we're doing for gasoline, that's there right here. And we're going to use that to calculate our annual fuel expenses. And of course, that's going to depend greatly on the cost of gasoline. So let's turn to page 121. And let's look at problem number 15. Oh, sorry, problem number 3, excuse me. A sales representative drives a 15,000 miles a year for work. She has a choice of 2 cars used, one getting 35 miles per gallon and the other getting 15 miles per gallon. If gasoline averages $3 per gallon, how much does she save per year in fuel expenses driving the more fuel-efficient vehicle? All right, so let's get the 35 mile per gallon car here and the 15 mile per gallon car here. So looking at our formula, we're going to take the annual miles driven. Well, we know that's 15,000. We're going to divide it by the miles per gallon. So that's 35. And then we're going to multiply that by the average cost, which this is a little bit high compared to today, but that's okay, times 3. And then we're going to do the exact same thing for the 15 mile per gallon car. The only difference is when we take that 15,000, we're going to divide by 15. So again, we're just using this little formula here from our formula sheet. All right, so let's do this first calculation. So we're taking 15,000 divided by 35, and we're times it by 3. So that is, I guess if we round that, that'd be $1,285.71. And I'm going to do the second one. The only thing I'm going to change here is change the 35 to 15. Hit enter. So that'd be 3,000. All right, so the difference then to her savings, if she used the more fuel efficient, would be 3,000 minus $1,285.71. So that gives us $1,714.29. Part B says if she were to invest her money, her monthly fuel savings into account paying 7.5 interest compound monthly, how much would she have saved after 5 years? Well, that's her annual savings, so we need to divide that by 12 to get our monthly savings. So I'm going to divide that by 12. And it looks like $142.86. Okay, so we're investing that at 7.5% interest compounded monthly. All right, so now we're back to using our annuities formula. So this one here. So let's write that down. All right, so we're going to put that $142.86. Interest rate is 0.075. We're doing it 12 times a year for 5 years. All right, so I'm going to move that over here so we can try to get the calculator on here. Clear the screen, fraction key. So we're going to have, oops, try that again, fraction key 142.86, parentheses, see if I can get the light better here, 1 plus fraction key 0.075 over 12, close the parentheses, caret key 12 parentheses 5, hit your right arrow, subtract 1, close off the parentheses on the top. Head to the bottom, parentheses, fraction key 0.075 over 12. Oops. Try that again. Close it off. Hit enter. Oops. Now, syntax error. Syntax error tells me I've done something wrong. That tells me I've done one of two things. I've either not used the correct number of parentheses, or maybe I'm using a minus sign instead of a subtraction sign. So I'm going to clear that, and we're going to take a look at what we have. So, and you can see the problem now. I got open, so I'm supposed to have 2 here. I've only got 1. That's why I got that syntax error. So you check your parentheses and check your signs. So I need another parentheses here. Now, how do we get that in there? Well, you look up here, you got your delete key, and right above is your insert. So I'm going to do my second key, hit my delete, and that's going to allow me to insert another set of parentheses. And now I'm going to check it to see if everything's correct. Yeah, those two match. Good. And I've got the one here at the end. So good. So we should be good to go now. And that gives us $10,361.22. So again, whenever you see a syntax error, there are two things you're going to look at. Do I have the correct number of opening and closing parentheses? Did I use a -1 here instead of subtract 1? Those are the two things you want to look for. Those are the most common mistakes. You can have other mistakes that would generate your syntax error, but those are the common ones.